Johnny Toronto, yes.
Right.
For those who don't know, Johnny Toronto is Jeff's nickname he gave me because I wore a Toronto shirt to Arizona. Anyways, everybody's more than welcome to call me that. We're going to be talking about NX Console, but we have a question to ask everyone first.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the theme of the day and say, who likes dogs, including Snoop Dogg? Raise your hand, please. All right, that's a lot of people. Who likes cats? Oh, I see Katerina there. Here,
yeah. So you might be wondering, why are they asking us questions about cats and dogs that relate to NX Console? And the answer is it has nothing to do with NX Console.
Yeah, it does.
What we're going to do is have a back-end team and a front-end team that's basically cats and dogs, and go through a little demo at the end. But let us go on here. So again, I'm Jonathan Cammisuli. People call me John or Johnny Toronto if you want to be on Jeff's good side. I am the lead developer on NX Console. So I try not to break a lot of people, but sometimes I do. And I try to fix Max's code as well.
Yeah, I'm Max. The intro is already made. I break John's code, but I write good code too. And let's go.
Let's go. So last year I was on stage and I gave a talk about NX Console and what we want to do for the future of NX Console. And one of the big things that I mentioned was basically the JetBrains IDE support. It's finally here. It's been here since, I guess, February, end of February, March. And it took a lot of work because we had to learn Kotlin. And I don't know if anybody played with Kotlin, but it is...
It's cool. I like it.
Okay. So since we released it, we had over 60,000 downloads, which is pretty good, but we could get more. So anybody who hasn't downloaded it, download it and give it 5 stars. If you have issues, message me privately and we'll fix it.
This is probably illegal, but go ahead.
There's one big contributor that we want to give a shout out to, and it's Sam. He was one of the main developers for the community WebStorm, IntelliJ plugins. And without his help, we would have taken way longer to complete the official JetBrains, IntelliJ, WebStorm, whatever you want to call it, plugin. So give a hand to him. He helps a lot.
He's probably watching.
If he's watching, thank you.
All right, so let's get to the demo. I'm going to do a quick introduction first. So we're going to be working on this wonderful website, which is totally real and production ready. It's called Pawflix. It's a video platform for pets. And there's a lot of cute videos you should check out. And we're going to build a rating component with this for using NX Console.
Yeah, so what we're going to be doing is Max and I are going to be working on the same laptop. So we're introducing the first ever mono laptop term. Two developers, 1 laptop, 100% more problems. Everybody should get on board with that. So the first thing I'm going to go is actually introduce the NX Console in IntelliJ. So if you're familiar with how NX Console worked in Visual Studio Code, it's pretty much the same. We have a button on the side. You have NX Console, and you get all your projects. We wanted to make sure that the feel of NX Console in IntelliJ was the same, so people who want to jump between the two are familiar with the UI of it. So let's start by looking through the projects here. So in our Pawflix app, we have a backend and we have a front end. We have other different libraries that we could run as well, but we want to start the backend. So if we double-click one of the targets here, it will run the serve. If we do it again here, it will run it again. Now, every time we do one of those, we will populate the configurations up here so that you could run it again later. But there's a cool thing in IntelliJ where having to run these tasks multiple times is a little bit annoying or cumbersome. So we have support in here where we could do multiple things. We could add a compound configuration where we want to run both serves at the same time. Compound, so we want to run backend and the front end. Or we could go ahead and create an NX configuration. We're going to name this one serve. We want to run pawflix backend and pawflix front end, and we want to run the serve. Now, if we apply that and run it, oh, did I spell something wrong? Run target.
Live demos.
I know. Live demos are always a problem. But anyways, we could run the compound one, and you can see that IntelliJ will run both at the same time, so you don't have to remember to run both of them. And if you save these in a file, you could commit it to your repo, so other people who have IntelliJ or whatever other editor they're using can run at the same time. So let's stop this for now and go into generating a first feature. So the feature we're going to try to generate is a review or a ratings backend API, so that we could actually review the videos that are being shown in the web application. So let's go create a node library.
Yeah, so what you can see here is the generate UI. If you're familiar with NX Console, you probably know this. But you'll notice that it looks fresh and new. So we rebuilt this completely from the ground up this year. It's built using lit. We have a blog post if you want to check out how and why we did it. But what it means is this is a web app running in the editor. So we can reuse the code between VS Code and IntelliJ, which allows us to be way faster. We can fix the bugs we build way faster. We can build new features. And the logic stays the same, and it's consistent, but we can make sure that it looks native in both environments.
Yeah, we'll take a look at how the VS Code one looks like in the future, but let's go ahead and create this library. We want to put this in the backend, and we have a button here where we manually could run a dry run. So if we click the dry run, it's the same as typing it in. Some people found that annoying that it kept regenerating every time you did some changes. So we have the button here to allow people to configure what they want to do. So we go hit generate. It's the same thing that we had in VS Code, where a terminal window will pop up and we will have everything generate there. So if we go in here, we can see that we have the pawflix rating. And now we can go and change some stuff here and add our feature. So let's go into libs backend. Oh, I had another one there. Let's change the spec here. Now we're going to do old-fashioned AI, where we're going to generate my test. Hopefully this is correct. In AI we trust, right?
Not Philip.
Not Philip. And then we're going to generate a demo. This code seems to be OK. So AI seems to be OK. You just want to change something in here. I'm going to do default, and I'm going to go to main.ts. I'm going to put use ratings app. Import use ratings from. And then we save that. So if we go back into our rating thing, or rating feature, sorry, and we want to run the test for it, we could go into the spec file and run it from there. But if we're actually creating the feature in here and we want to run it quickly with NX, we can go into the actions and go NX run target. And NX console will be smart enough to know what project is currently open by indicating with the star. And if you want to run other targets, you could select the different projects, but we want to run the rating here. And then we could see that it has the lint and test. So if we run test, things should, whoa, fail. Let me fix that one. I guess I spelled ratings wrong. Whoops. Rating. So AI didn't work out for me. So the good thing with IntelliJ, we could rerun it, and now it should work. So now we have the feature done for the backend. Now we have the ratings, and we can now implement the front end part of it.
Right. Now that the backend team has built their little API.
Nope, that was it.
Where is it?
Yeah, here. You just close that window.
Just close the window?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a brain fart. All right, so we're going to see what the backend team actually did. We have this affected command here in NX console, which will show us the affected graph. So you probably know this from NX outside of NX console, but the cool thing about NX console is it reduces context switching a lot. So we can view this in the IDE. It has context about the file that's currently open, or maybe a file you've selected in the project explorer. And so that reduces context switching. But the other thing is we can actually enhance this project graph to do things that wouldn't be possible if you just run npx NX graph in the browser. For example, if I want to delve deeper into the changes that the backend team made, I can click on this edge here between the backend app and the rating library and see that there's an import here. I can just click on it, go right through it, and see that there's an import. All right. Another example would be I'm going to want to work on the details page that we built. So I can just click on the project.json button. I'll be in project.json, which is where NX is configured for this project. And I'll be right here. So this is one of the strengths of NX console is smoothing out these workflows, reducing context switching, reducing friction, and making sure that we can develop as quickly as possible. This is obviously also available in IntelliJ. All right, so let's get started building the actual rating component. It's going to be a couple of buttons. All right, so before we build this, I'm going to want to make sure that I can actually see the changes I'm making. I'll serve the backend app. I'll serve the front-end app. And I could do this in a compound way, as John did, but it's 2 clicks. I'm not so lazy, so I'll just do both of them. And there we go. So this is PhpStorm. There's a lot of cute videos. I really like this one, so I have to watch it.
This one was always my favorite, just his face.
He looks so betrayed. All right, so I want to let the world know how much I love this specific video. Yeah. So I'm going to build a couple of buttons here to give it a rating. So we need a React component. Obviously, you guessed it, we're going to use the generate UI. React component. There you go.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, this is the same application that's running in IntelliJ and in VS Code, where it is just a web app that will determine which IDE is running in and set the different styles depending on whatever components that we have set up. So for the VS Code one, we can see that it has a different feel, and it's more in line with Visual Studio Code's design choices. So it's pretty good. We're pretty proud of it, and it's very flexible in case the next editor comes up. There seems to be so many coming out now. Maybe Fleet will come out with their plugin soon. We could add it in there.
That'd be fun. Yeah, so that's kind of the philosophy in general with NX console. We try to make a lot of it editor agnostic, so we only build these thin wrappers around. Yeah.
Oh, there's one thing that this won't work on, and that's for NeoVim. So I'm sorry, the two of you.
All right, so let's get back to creating a component. We're going to call it pause rating, because instead of stars, we're giving pause, because it's cute puppies. All right, we can select the project we want to generate the component in. So I'm going to select front-end PhpStorm details. So this is one of the big upsides of NX console. If you do this with the CLI, you'll have to type potentially very, very long names, and if you do a typo, there's no one there to help you. So we have this nice drop-down, and if you have 400 components, 400 projects like we heard earlier, it's going to be an autocomplete, so still usable. This obviously has keyboard shortcuts, so if I want to do a dry run and see if that was autocorrect, I will do Command-Shift-Enter, and then that looks good, so I will do Command-Enter and actually generate my files. All right. So where are we? Here's the stuff on the right. It's kind of confusing to me, honestly.
No, we could go into different talks and which one is better, right side or left side?
Left side, for sure.
Left side is better.
All right, so I'm going to update this component. I actually forgot the snippet. Do you remember?
Yours is generate, I think.
Generate. You know what? It's kind of embarrassing. I'll just look it up. AI can't help me here. Ratings. I could have guessed that. Ratings. All right. So I'm not going to go over this code. I'm definitely not a React developer, so just trust me that it's going to work. And don't judge me if it's not nice. I'm going to add it to the component we have. Pause rating. And there we go. There's a couple of pause down here. We can now... I'm going to watch another video because we watched this one already. Let's watch this one. This came recommended by Katerina herself, so you better enjoy it. All right, that's pretty good.
That's how I feel when I see new issues in the next console. It's like, oh, I don't need a flower on my head.
I get it. All right, so I'm going to give this 4 pause because, I mean, obviously, what else would I give it? But now that I click 3 pause, I can see that that's a possibility. And I think we can all agree that these cute kittens and puppies should all only get 4 pause, nothing else. So maybe that's a bug the backend team should fix?
Sounds like a bug.
Sounds like a bug.
Every single one of these should always get 4 pause.
Yeah, for sure.
1 pause is not good enough. It's always 4. So let's go ahead and change the feature here. So instead of doing some logic, whoop, my do not disturb finished.
We came prepared.
Yeah. Instead of doing something fantastic, we're just going to always enter 4. So don't
try
copy,
this at home.
Yeah. This isn't production ready code. If you do this, it's your own. It's your problem in the future. But let's update the test to make sure that this one is good. Generate updated test. Let's fix this one here. These buttons are huge. All right. So now that I'm not going to explain the test, but we could rerun it. So with IntelliJ, like I mentioned before, all the configurations that we run through NX Console are saved in the run configurations in IntelliJ. So we could go ahead and run the rating test again, and then it passes. So that is good. So now all reviews will be.
Yeah, let's try it out.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Where'd we go? All right, so I give it 2 pause, and this knows me better than I do.
Yeah.
So thanks for that. All right, so what should we take away from this talk? Install NX Console. It's really good. Laura endorsed it. We put a lot of work into it. Install it. Pet your pets, for sure. They deserve it. And I hope we'll see you all at the after party. Victor's going to sing Celine Dion, I heard. So you better all be there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.